Hi guys, it's JoAnna from Indiana. Today we're gonna make pineapple upside down cake. Now, if you've ever baked anything before in your life, you know that the most important first step always is to make a drink. So today I have made rum and pineapple juice from the pineapple. So, you know, delicious. Alright, so the first thing you always want to do after you make your drink is grease your pans and set them aside. Now for pineapple upside down cake, what you're going to do is, it's so much easier to do it this way, is take a paper towel and like seriously generously butter the shit out of your pan. Like there's not too much. And for this I said butter, but it's, you want to use margarine. I found that it works better for the topping. I use a paper towel for this so that I don't get disgusting hands, but like as you can see, like you want to put a lot on there. This is gonna mix with the sugar and make the caramel topping when you flip it over at the end. So that's pretty good. Now, in addition to making a cake that we're gonna flip, and this is a springform pan, I recommend it, especially for something that you have to flip over. I'm gonna make a couple of cupcakes so that you can see if you make an individual. I always like to do that no matter what the cake is. I like to make a small one too. So, and that's always good for bake sales, things like that. Okay, so this is ready. After you get them all covered with the margarine, you're gonna sprinkle the sugar, brown sugar, light brown sugar, all over the bottom and cover up the whole, all of the butter. And when it cooks, then this is what makes the delicious caramelized top of your pineapple upside down cake. Okay, so that's good. Give it a little shake, even it out. It'll look something like that. Same thing with the cupcakes. Alright, and that's ready. Dump the rest of that in there. Okay, now the next part of getting your pans ready to set aside is the pineapple. This is pineapple from a can because I thought it would be kind of hard to get uniform slices from a normal pineapple. Like we have one sitting here, but like I thought it would be a mess. So nice even slices. You cover the bottom of your pan. Up. And then with the cupcakes, you don't need a full ring because they're little. So you just break up a little bit, probably like half a ring or so. Oh, an important step I forgot to mention is that I squeezed these pineapples pretty dry with a paper towel. If you leave them juicy, it's gonna disaster. It's gonna mess up your caramelized top because it'll be too liquidy. So you wanna make sure you squeeze your pineapples pretty dry. And the same when you do your cherries. I've rinsed these with cold water until the water ran clear. And then I also squeeze these with the paper towel too, because you really, like, the extra moisture you do not need. The sugar and the butter will do all of that for you. So then you put your cherries in the middle of each of the pineapple rings. Awesome. And then sometimes when there's extra room, you can just like, it depends on how much you like cherries. I think cherries are delicious. So there you go. And then just like one in each of these. There we go. All right. Now, these are ready. And we're gonna set these aside. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is mix our dry ingredients. So, I have already ready 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You don't have to sift it, just 3 cups of all-purpose flour. A tablespoon of baking powder. And a ½ teaspoon of just regular table salt. Now, you just really quick mix this together. Luckily, I have these handy dandy gloves. You mix that together and sit it off to the side. All right, now's the fun part. I know not everybody is lucky enough to have the KitchenAid stand mixer, but this is the best way to mix your wet ingredients. So we're gonna start with 2 sticks of unsalted butter, room temperature. Now this has been sitting out for most of the day. You really don't want to try to use it when it's cold. It doesn't mix properly. So room temperature in the mixer. Then we're gonna add 1 1/4 cups of just white granulated sugar. 4 room temperature eggs. These got set out at the same time as the butter. And you want to use the whole egg. No yolks, no white, just whole eggs. If you're not confident in your ability to not get yolk like shells in your mix, you can do this separately so you can have the opportunity to pick it out. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There was an incident earlier where I had the vanilla prepared in a shot glass sitting with the other ingredients and accidentally drank it, so that is why this is being measured. 1 teaspoon of vanilla that I didn't notice wasn't rum, and then 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. Now it says that you can use 3/4 cup of heavy cream and 1/2 cup of whole milk, but I'm good with just the whole milk for today. That's your wet ingredients. Put your mixer down. You're gonna start on the lowest speed. Don't get your cameras wet. I like to clean up messes as I go so that it's not a complete disaster when you're done, but you know, whatever you want to do. I know people that like to stand back afterwards and be like, look at the mess I made. No. Alright, so once this is a little bit mixed, you can turn it up a little bit. And what we're kind of just looking for here is for the butter to kind of mix with the sugar and the milk. And then we start slowly adding in our dry ingredients. Now, everybody does this differently, but for me, I prefer to add a little bit and mix, add a little bit and mix, not try to like dump it in while it's going, because then sometimes it just flies up all over. Like that. So just a little bit at a time. I know, kind of annoying to watch it start and stop, but it really does work better. All right, everything is in. And like, as long as you make sure you start with a clean surface when your flour like goes all over, you can put it back. So that's good. Once you're sure it's not going to slosh all over the fucking table, you can turn it up and let it whip into a cake batter. Anywhere from 30 seconds to 90 seconds, depending on, you know, the temperature of your butter and whatever. That looks good. Slow it down. All right. Now we have our batter. Oh, that was what I forgot. If you have this mixer, use the paddle attachment. Don't use a dough hook, don't use a whisk, paddle attachment. That's what you want to use for all of your cakes. Excellent. Let me get some gloves and I'm going to clean that off. Now when you're just cooking for your family, obviously you're not going to wear gloves, but for the purposes of this video, so it's not just me dipping my hands into some batter, I'm going to wear the gloves. If you've ever worked in a kitchen, you're used to this. If not, go ahead and lick your fingers, lick the bowl, whatever. All right. Then you have to get your hook that is sometimes stuck. Off of your mixer. Kenny, it's stuck.
I don't know how it works.
All right, hold on. I do know how it works. I'm just forgetting.
Push and twist.
Yes, I got this. I got this. So I will bring up that this mixer has not been used more than like 3 times because it's fairly new. I've been super excited to have one of these my whole life, but it really is one of the very first attempts of using it, so pardon me. I have, like, after watching that, I'm sure, like, you're like, sure. But I did work in a bakery for like 6 years. We had a really big mixer like this. It works just the same, but every time I try to get this stupid paddle off of this mixer, I forget. So, whatever. So then, we're done with the mixer. Remember our pans? All right. Get new gloves. Okay. Now, all we have to do is cover the top of the pineapple and cherries and throw these in the oven. The oven has been ready forever because it took us forever to get set up. So for your cupcakes, you do not want to fill it more than 2/3. I know a lot of recipes will say 3/4. I disagree. So, and it's going to be a little messy, but you cover up the top of everything. And this is why I like the gloves, is because you can just redistribute everything. I'm so excited about these, you guys. They're so good. Like, wait till we flip them. Oh my goodness. Alright. So those are our cupcakes, because I always like to have a little sidekick to go around the main display, you know. Alright. that's ready to go. And I know it looks a little bit of a mess, but I promise. All right. You take the rest of your batter and you put it into your, hopefully you have a spring-form pan. It works best, but if not, just make sure you grease the hell out of that pan. Because flipping over anything with caramel, if you've ever done it, is not super fun if your pan is not greased. All right. You spread that out evenly over the top of your fruit. Oh, cherries are showing through, but I have a little bit more batter, so we're just going to cover that up. All right, these are about ready to go in the oven. Let me just take a drink of my drink. All right, guys, pineapple upside down cake. Now you're gonna wanna put this into a 350-degree oven for 40 to 48 minutes. It depends on your oven, your altitude, and like all kinds of, like there's factors involved, but just keep checking it. When you poke a toothpick into the center of your cake, of course, it should come out clean, but also you want it to have like kind of like a spring back texture and a golden brown top. And we're gonna put this into the oven and we'll see you back for the flip. Okay, 350 degrees. We're gonna slide these in here. I'm gonna go ahead and set, you wanna see them? I'm gonna set the timer for about 40 minutes and then we'll check them. Oh my goodness. It doesn't wanna go. I'm trying. I wasn't, it was me. See, you do it. When you have an older
Here you
oven,
go
yeah,
to the microwave and
set the timer for 40 minutes. Wunderbar! And we're off. And we'll see you in about 40 minutes to check it. Okay, so here we are, 52 minutes later. Sorry, as I said, oven temperatures may vary. And our cupcakes are done, but our cake is not. So, if you want to follow me. See how they're nice and golden brown and they're not sinking. So we'll sit those there and we're gonna move our cake into the middle of the oven. As you can see, still white. So this guy needs a little bit more time. Oops. So we're gonna leave that in there. We're gonna reset for like 3 minutes and we're gonna check that again. So, again, we'll see you when it's time to flip. Welcome back. Here we are, an hour and 5 minutes after our original starting time. I know I said 40 to 48, but like I said, again, temperatures and altitudes and ovens may vary, blah, 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 blah. In the state of California, everything's known to cause cancer, blah, blah, blah. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Look at this. Now, I know a lot of people will do the same recipe with just like a yellow cake mix from the store, like Betty Crocker. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's 2019. It's not 1945 or whatever. Don't let Betty Crocker make your family's desserts. So, we're gonna let this rest, and then with a simple butter knife, we're gonna go around the edges of everything, and we will be back to show you when we flip them over. Stay tuned, it's gonna be beautiful. Okay guys, it's the moment of truth. So we're gonna flip our pineapple cupcakes first. This is a plate that has been in my best friend Kenny's family for like 70 years. This is gonna be our cupcake plate. The cake plate, we got at the dollar store for $1. So, okay, we're gonna flip these. Now the best way to do this is to put your plate over the top and flip everything over at once. Gently lift. They're all stuck. This will happen. So, see these two? Beautiful. But sometimes, like anybody else in life, we need a little help. And sometimes shit falls apart, you know. Screws fall out all the time. The world is an imperfect place. So, it's easily fixed. Don't be discouraged. I promise you, appearance does not affect taste. Apparently, I didn't butter my pan quite enough. But I don't think it's gonna affect any flavors. And there we have our cupcakes, which are always a nice companion to your regular cake, especially if you're gonna make some sort of a centerpiece. But here we go, guys. All right, we run the butter knife around the edge of our pan just to make sure nothing is stuck. When you have the springform pan, you open, it releases. Oh, same thing. Put your plate before you flip. Works so much better. Sometimes if you can feel that it's stuck, oh yes. And there you have it. Homemade pineapple upside down cake from JoAnna from Indiana. Let me just show you the inside. Oh yes. Perfectly baked. Caramelized on top. This is what we're looking for. Pineapple upside down cake. And I'll see you next time.